CEO Ronnie from Creating the Difference. Got my man here going to throw some bowling ball shots for us. He got a bowling ball he's been using for quite a bit, so it's actually got some games on it already. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about surface reaction, things you can do to actually change the performance of your bowling ball, especially depending if you're not getting the right kind of reaction. So go throw the ball down the lane, get a quick look at how it looks. It's a wrap 10 pin, so we're gonna take that shot. It's all right, we'll take a look at that. We'll actually get our surface scanner and just kind of see what the surface scan is on the ball initially. So we're got the ball here. You can see it's been bowled, got some lines on it. We're gonna go ahead and scan it. Just kind of see where the ball starts out with the scanner at. So it's bouncing around 5,000, 4,500. Just keep going around it. 5,300 over there. So it's moving around a little bit. Just kind of depending on where we're at. You know, right around that 5,000 grit number, maybe a little bit higher too, a little bit lower depending. So right around 5,000, no big deal. So we're gonna take the exact same bowling ball. Now we're actually gonna take it in the shop and we're gonna use P5000D on the bowling ball. P5000D is a sanding pad that when you use it by hand is going to leave you a 4,000 grit finish, but we're actually going to use the resurfacing machine, which is going to allow us to get it to a 5,000 grit finish. We got the 5,000 grit P5000D pads already on the resurfacing machine. We'll go ahead and put the ball in really quick, and we will get this bowling ball to get cycled through the process. We want to just kind of show you this whole process because it's really important that you have a good understanding of really just how much surface really matters and how it can really impact and change the overall performance of the bowling ball and really what that means. So we're going to go ahead and let this ball take a little bit of time here, and we're going to let it go through a cycle so you can actually see exactly what that looks like. And here's the concept here, right? So the ball scans, pretty close to 5,000 anyway, so that's kind of what it was at anyway. But when you use the P5000D pad, what you're going to do is you're actually going to get that ball still at 5,000, but there's no polish, there's nothing interfering between the actual cover stock and the actual lane, and that's going to give you just a little bit more back end. So you saw he left that wrap 10 pin there, but when we put this new finish on the bowling ball, it's going to give him just a little bit more back end, and that's one of the benefits of using the sanding pads and understanding how to use the sanding pads. That's really the key, understanding how to use them. So in a similar situation, if you were, let's say, at a tournament and you were like, man, I really want to get my bowling ball up to that 5,000 or a little bit higher number, how would I do that? Well, the sanding pads that we make, they really only go to 4,000 grit by hand. What that means is you take a P5000D pad, you use it by hand, the ball's going to end up at right around 4,000 grit. In order to get it to 5,000 or 5,500, you actually have to use TruCut hand-applied polish powered by Turtle Wax right here. So you're going to have to use this product to be able to get the ball to 5,500. Going to get you that angular motion you're looking for. The cool thing about this product is it actually cleans and polishes the ball at the same time and doesn't clog the pores. Now, obviously in this particular case, we have the ability to get to the pro shot. We have the ability to use the resurfacing machine. So we're going to get to 5,000 grit just simply by using the sanding pads. But lots of times, lots of situations that you're in, you may not have access to the resurfacing machine or access to the ball spinner. You may have to need your bowling ball to get to that higher number, which is why you'd want to have the polish. I suggest, really all tournament players or serious league players have the sanding pads and the polish in their bag, because that is by far the biggest way to change your ball reaction, and it is also the most effective way to change your ball motion in terms of being able to get a reaction difference. So in this case, specifically, we're going to show you, 5,000 grit that's been bowled compared to 5,000 grit that's been sanded using the TruCut system. So we're going to be able to see even how much difference you can make with just even putting on a similar type surface, but keeping your ball fresh. So this is a good example for people that have bowling balls, that they like their reaction, they want a little bit more, why it's important to keep the surface fresh on your bowling balls. It works for solids like we're doing here. It works for pearls. It works for hybrids. It doesn't really matter the cover stock type. You are able to get the surface back to the number that you're looking for using the TruCut sanding system that we've developed at Creating the Difference. So let this bowling ball go ahead and finish up. You can see it's going through the whole process. We've got 3 pads on here, and it's just sanding the bowling ball at a very, very fine grit. We're going to end up right around that 5,000 grit number like I told you, which is what the P5000D pad will do, which is really cool because TruCut sanding pads actually were made to sand bowling balls. What I mean by that is the number written on the pad is the number that it will leave on the bowling ball, and you're going to be able to see that kind of firsthand here in 1 second. Get the ball dried off, and we'll put it back up here and we'll be able to take a look at it, as well as you'll be able to hear something a little bit different. The ball's going to sound very, very squeaky. That's because it is shiny and it is clean. You can hear that. Very, very squeaky as John goes around there. So we'll go ahead and get the holes dry and we'll take the scan too. So we'll get a good scan here, kind of see where the number is. So at 4,500, 5,000. Just keep moving around, get off the label a little bit. There we go. You can see kind of bouncing around there. 4,500, 4,500, 5,000. Just kind of bouncing around as he moves around a little bit, which is fine. That's kind of what we expect, right? So, all right, cool. So right around that same number as we were before, which is what we would expect. Now we'll go ahead and get the holes cleaned out, and then we will throw the bowling ball down the lane so you can actually take a look at the reaction. So that's one of the benefits of using the TruCut sanding system. You can actually see the pads we use here. The pads actually last longer than competitive pads. It's one of the benefits of the pads, right? They last longer, they cut better, and the best part of all is that they cost less. So the TruCut system is a great system for pro shops. It's a great system for consumers to be able to have, and it's something that you can pick up right here at that website right there. ctdbowling.com is the really site you want to go to if you want to get these pads. We also, like I said, have that TruCut hand applied polish powered by Turnowax. We'll go ahead and go back out there, and we'll watch the ball go down the lane. Now that the holes have been officially dried out, he used the vacuum to suck all the moisture out of the holes to make sure that Chris can execute a good shot here for us. Because as you can tell, we are shooting this live. There's no edits, there's no cuts. It is raw and unfiltered. Chris is also using that CTD BFP. You can kind of see that in his back pocket. He's using that. Look how dirty this pad is. So check this out. See how dirty that is? That's just from 3 games of use. He used it at League last week, and that pad did get very, very dirty, as you can see there. I would tell you it's very, very important to keep your ball clean as possible. The more dirt and oil that you have on your bowling ball, the harder it's going to be to keep your reaction consistent. So now the ball is right around that 5,000 grit number like we talked about. It looks similar to what it was before. So it's not the difference, the grit isn't that different, but the surface is fresh, right? It's a fresh surface. So now we'll be able to watch him get just a little bit more ball reaction, having a fresh surface. And this is something, like I said, you should do this probably before you go bowl league. Every session, if you like the reaction, and if you don't like the reaction, then you should look at tweaking your ball reaction. You can change your reaction quite often too, before or after competition. So we got that 10 pin to kick out now. The ball reaction looks really good. If you have more questions or need more information, make sure you check us out at ctdbowling.com. Ronald Hicklin, CEO from Creating the Difference. Have a great day.